The following is a presentation of iRacing on PTRTV. We'd like to thank all of our channel partners for their support. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and we hope you enjoy today's broadcast. The concrete jungle, the last great Coliseum, fighter jets in a cereal bowl, Bristol Motor Speedway, a track that fans loved, drivers either love or hate, but either way it's going to be an intense battle in some close quarters racing. Tonight we welcome a new league here to the family of leagues here on PTR TV, the second one of the week, and it's going to be the Goose Graphics Late Model Stock Tour. They're going to start off their inaugural season, round number 1 here from Bristol, Tennessee, and we are happy to give you the action. Going to be myself, Corey Silva, in the booth, along with Andre Gronbusch here. So we're going to give you the calls here for what's going to be a set of dual races, 60 laps apiece here. Should be some quick firing action here. Got a field of about 20 of these late model stocks, not the super late models, so these are the more tame ones, but that also keeps the competition closer together, gives these guys more confidence, Andre, and should lead us to a good race.
Oh, it's definitely going to be a good race. When you think of late models, you don't often think high banks. You know, usually these guys are going to relatively flat circuits, just enough banking to get them through the corner. But here at Bristol, which is a track you don't often see these cars run at, you're going to have a ton of banking, and the speeds, oh my goodness, the lap times are going to be comparable, I think, to a Cup car. So it'll be fun to watch one way or the other. But having that twin 60 format is going to definitely be a lot of fun as well, something we're not really used to here on the channel, but we're going to learn quick and we're going to have fun doing it.
Exactly that here. So you mentioned the lap times there. I'm just looking at the practice lineup here that I have on the back end. Lap times in the high 14. So that is indeed what they are running here in the NASCAR world. And that is because when you take out the horsepower and you have some wide tires, you go fast. That's kind of why the next gen isn't working very well. But it works in this exact instance here. And the schedule we do have, this is one of the bigger tracks that we will have going to Sobo. Next week, 5 Flags. We're going to take an anomaly to Watkins Glen, heading to Richmond, Langley, Hickory, North Wilkesboro, Martinsville, and rounding it out at the Phoenix Raceway a few days before Christmas. So that is what we got going on here in this league. We're not going to be giving you every single race. I think we are doing roughly 2/3 of the season, at least at this juncture. Of course, things can change here. So qualifying is underway. From what I can see, I mean, that is actually the session at play right now, but I think these drivers have already turned their lap times, or we at least have a minute or so to kind of wait out until the first heat starts here. So again, this kind of first week anomalies, you have a league owner who hasn't run this exact league before, still running out the kinks in it, and of course us here in the booth kind of picking up on that. So tonight may be a little rougher on the edges, but hopefully we have some good racing to override that.
Yeah, hopefully. It seems we're having some sort of technical difficulty with the iRacing session itself. Currently listening in on the word for what exactly is happening. I'm not sure if the session has lagged out, that's why we're not seeing any cars, or if it's the wrong session altogether.
All right, I am getting, we got to all reset to another lobby. So that is going to be slightly problematic, but we will figure this out here, and we are just going to go to a pseudo commercial here and get ready for a reset here. So stay tuned. We'll be back as soon as possible.
Race fans, we are back here at Bristol. We've done a little time traveling. You can see the sun has ascended in the sky, but had a little bit of technical difficulty. The session got kind of changed. It does happen sometimes in iRacing. You'll make a session, let it sit for a while, iRacing pushes some updates, and settings get reverted. So they had to make a new session. Unfortunately, Corey and I both are on a bit of a time limit here because Corey's got the Red Sox Racing League coming up on the channel next, right about 8:40, 8:45. And I'm going to be jumping over to 3Wide TV for another Busch Series League as well. So we were kind of on a crunch to begin with. So in order to get the entire race in, the league admins have decided to scrap the twin 60s and just merge both 60 lap segments into one race. It'll be 120 laps straight through, no breaks, barring any actual cautions for cause. And ideally, we're going to get the whole thing in. We are, again, going to try to get through it. First weekend, you know, there's always going to be some kinks to work out when it's a new league. A lot of the guys are admittedly new to running a league on their own and getting things figured out, but they did a good job handling it. They got it sorted out pretty quick, and hopefully, once these guys get their qualifying laps in, we'll be back to racing.
Yeah, exactly that. So you can see here on the top left of your screen that it does say that there are 14 minutes left. That is not accurate. Once everybody has confirmed that they've run their lap, we're going to cut right to the race, and kind of akin to Fox, you know, when the race runs long and they have local news or an infomercial to show how they cut the race off abruptly. We do have a last-ditch resort cut time, which is going to be roughly 8:42, 8:43 Eastern if you're watching this live, and or about 50 minutes if you're, oh no, it's like about an hour. So hopefully we can get 120 laps here at Bristol. The math says we can, as long as we don't have too many wrecks, and if there's wrecks that, well, that's just the nature of the high banks of Bristol. So again, the lights have, actually, let's just pull up the weather graphic if we can, Andre, and we'll see exactly what simulator time it is. It's 7:11, so I guess you could say we are now tomorrow, and we have elapsed the entire day so that we can run this as a night race.
Yes, so it should be getting the sun going down anytime, depending on what month it is in Sim. We should be seeing sunset soon, but pretty warm, 88 degrees in the asphalt.
Oh, there we go.
No, it just updated. 113 track temp.
In 1 minute, oh, there it goes.
Oh,
so
no,
it was,
back down it.
It was a complete anomaly there, but everyone has run their time, so now we will change over from our intro music to our grid music, because as said, once the qualifying lineup was situated and everyone ran their laps, it's going to be grid time. So now we will head down trackside, and I give you that PTRTV starting lineup here from the Bristol Motor Speedway. On tonight's poll is going to be James A. Morris, A for... I don't have an acronym. We'll get that over the course of the season. Nathan Rue in second. Third place will find Travis Suck up there and Brent Mekas, yeah, sounds about right, in the fourth spot. JJ Goodbow in fifth, the New Hampshire native, along with Spencer Teal in sixth. Seventh is Jonathan Golden. Mark Royer, I actually went go-karting with that guy 15 years ago. He's in the eighth spot. Howie DiSavino in ninth, and then John Gudekunst. I feel like that's wrong, but it's week one, and it's a very chaotic night, so that's what we're going with.
Yeah, we're allowed to mess up names on week one. Please correct us, though, when we inevitably butcher your names. P11, Scott Mayhew Jr. going to be rolling off next to Stephen Barnett in the 15 machine. 13th place goes to Alton Fourth, and it looks like Lewis Mitchell's going to be P14. 15th going to go to the 42 machine, Chris Horton.
With white wheels.
White wheels. That is an interesting graphic. And then John Garrett is going to be P16. Behind him, Dylan Winters in the 14 car. And Stephen Heights is going to be rolling off to his outside. Running out the top 20, Thomas Romig and Jordan Otten in the 00.
And that will do it here on the evening. So that's kind of the race details here for the Goose Graphics late model stock tour. It's an open set here, 120 lap. I was going to write 60 and 60, but that is no longer applicable there. One set of tires will be in the pits as long as that statistic did not change in the session changeover, and no fast repairs. We do have our league sponsors on the top right of the screen, kind of flashing by on a slideshow type deal. So you can check them out. I don't have the links for them, but If you're interested in checking out any of those sponsors' products, so just put a message in chat, and we'll have someone get back to you. Goose Graphics, of course, being the sponsor of the league. I know the Beef Jerky Unlimited put up a championship prize for these guys. Red Spoilers, Dubby, which is an energy supplement powder mix type deal, which I actually have some personal interest in myself. So always help out the sponsors of the league here. But Bristol has 2 very quick pace laps. One of them soon to be completed here, coming off turn number 4. Then one more lap around. We'll finally get this chaotic night underway.
Yeah, these guys are probably itching to get this race under green. Of course, that setback maybe getting in their heads a little bit. You know, you get behind the wheel, you get ready to race, and then you get that delay, and sometimes you got to get back into a rhythm, get back in that mindset. So we'll see how they manage. I'm also noticing the roof number on the 18 is facing the fans. So if the fans in the grandstands are wondering who's driving that car, they won't have to wonder, because they can see right and clear that the 18 is leading the field to the green flag. Just a little bit of banter there. I'm not actually, I'm not pulling on them too hard. We're just, you know, we like to make some jokes here and there. Pace car pulls in, and it's finally the first lap here at Bristol. 18 Machine's going to get out to a decent solo lead. They're going to battle side by side behind him. But through 1 and 2, can we get through there clean? Yes, we do. Everybody doing a great job at getting that corner at high speed. A little bit further back. More battling the 44, taking that middle groove. Look at this. He's going to get a run on the outside. He's not going to lift. He's actually going to take it. So this may be another position on the pylon.
Now, the Bristol Motor Speedway over the years here on iRacing has changed quite a bit there. There's a couple guys into the fence there that was heights there at the back of the pack hitting the wall. Back in the day, Bristol rim ride all the way. Now in this new configuration, new settings on iRacing, new physics, whatnot, now it's kind of 50-50. You have the option to go bottom, go top. Of course, on the bottom, harder to clear the passes. If you're on the outside, kind of burn up the tires. So you'll see each driver use their own strategy with their setup. Nathan Rue, the 3 car running in third. That was JJ Goodbout there. Tried to take a pass to the inside. Had to back down on that, but Brent Meckes there in the 44 looking in the purple and yellow car.
Yeah, looking really good, although I am noticing these guys, big moment there, a little bit of contact to the 86 machine. That's Jonathan Golden. Got a little bit sideways. He's going to have to run the apron there. It was a good save. These cars can get mighty out of whack. We're going to go on board now and ride along here as the car ahead just slots right down in front of him, but this is how close it is. And I'll tell you one thing too, Corey, these guys, they're not going to have the best visibility. These late models have pretty short windshields, and when you add in the high banking, depending on where they have their driver height set, it can be really difficult to see what's going on in front of you. So that's just another thing these guys are going to have to think about.
Yeah, exactly that. The windshield is quite narrow, especially, probably I'd say upwards of 6 to 8 inches smaller than your traditional stock car mirror. So for those single monitor drivers, definitely can be quite the problem here. I do have a little bit of experience in this car, running on some short tracks on a Wednesday night league, and I can tell you, they are fun. They do have some power. Not as much, of course, as the super late model, but you do drive them quite heavily off the right rear, which at Bristol, I mean, is the name of the game with all the banking. But you got to also protect that right rear, because especially if you have to go a long time, you'll get very loose here as the 44 taking another dive to the inside of Goodbout to no avail.
Yeah, unfortunately, Brent Meckes there had to get out of the throttle. He had the preferred lane, but the car was not having it. He was going to slide up a little bit, so had to concede that position. He's going to regroup, try it again ahead of him. The 92 machine trying to hold that position. Here's another potential move, that 36 car. Mark Royer, another car.
The mad scientist.
The mad scientist is going to be looking to get up to the quarter panel of Spencer Teal, but not quite enough yet. And you mentioned driving the car off the right rear. This track is going to eat tires. The high speeds that these guys are carrying around the turn, you can see them get a little bit squirrely as it is, but depending on how much pressure, how much of a load they put on that right rear, the car is going to wear loose. That's going to be a big issue, but this is a cluster of cars. The 86 almost in a 3-wide situation, the 42 backing out of it. Fortunately, thought better of it, but these guys not really giving up any position. They want to take that spot for themselves if they can. Oh boy,
42 important.
Oh, that was a near 3-wide situation. If the 55 hadn't gotten into the wall, it may have been. but he scraped the outside wall just a little bit, gathered it up, but unfortunately, Harry DiSavino is going to lose a couple positions as a result of that as they finally go single file. Back out front, Travis Suckup is leading the race by about 0.4 of a second over James Morris. The
bombs.
That he is. He's cooking off some really good laps. He's pulling away from James back there. And James himself has about a second over JJ Goodbout. So up front, a little bit of separation, but out back, we're still seeing these wads of cars, the hornet's nest, that are going to be difficult to navigate. And another thing to think about, with a pretty sizable field here tonight, Corey, this stays green, they're going to see some lap traffic.
Well, lap traffic and near, I say the F word, not that F word, fuel, because of a field. Bristol is one of those tracks, Andre, and I'm going to bite my tongue in about 10 laps when the caution comes out, but this is one of those tracks that once you get to a certain point in a run, it becomes a relatively green flag race, and I don't know what the fuel load is in these things. 120 laps, I think you could do it in a cup car. I don't know if the tires will go that far, but that may be something worth considering. I think we are in the single pit road configuration here of Bristol, so you just enter your own associated pit. Everyone should be on the front straightaway, so that'll evade that. Mark Royer there in that 36, he is kind of running the old Harvick line right around the inside line, and there is a little bit of bite down there, and just as I say that, he's going to get surpassed by about 2 cars on the outside, so retort that thought.
Yeah, the inside, it's good at the very beginning of a run, but as these tires start to wear, I think they're going to carry much more momentum on the outside. Mainly because the car is going to get loose down there on the bottom. It's going to get really squirrely, and if you're taking that wider radius around the top, you carry more momentum. The car feels a little bit more planted. Here's some side-by-side action. JJ Goodbout under fire from Brent Meckes. He got the inside center of the corner, but then faded away a little bit in the straightaway. He's going to make another lunge at it here. He's rocking that bottom line a little bit better than most. Seems like he can carry a little bit more speed. If he could just get a bit closer, he may be able to force the car ahead. JJ Goodbout out of line. That's just about what's going to take.
Well, there goes the fuel
flag on the circuit.
Thomas Romig there in the 21. He has instantly taken it to the pits here. So we'll, I just have to wait. So, my replay graphic here has to load because, there we go, because when we were having the session change here, it kind of threw off some of my details here in the background. So just bear with me here while we find out what happened to the 21 car. Hopefully. I had it queued up. Oh, there it goes. So he was running by himself here. You know, it was just a session change. I had to wait for the scene to load here in the streaming software. He just talked about driving off the right rear. Well, he drove the right rear off, and he made it mad, and some slight contact there. I'm shocked he just kind of X'd out, if you will, because it didn't really seem like he made any kind of substantial contact there.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised that he took the tow as well. I mean, these cars are pretty tough. Obviously, a front-end hit at all isn't ideal, but it was so low speed, I can't imagine it was anything that couldn't be repaired. But yeah, that car got a little bit loose, and he was not the first, Corey. I mean, that whole run, we were seeing guys get a little bit squirrely, both in and out of the corners, and they were having to gather this thing up and try to keep it going.
Goodbout, DiSavino. Goodbout was up front. We have Garrett. So about the back end of the field pitting, and we do see the jacks going up. Remember, one set of tires, and that's the 15 that overshot his box. That is Stephen Barnett there. But there is one set of tires, because iRacing said 2 in the UI, which when it says 2 in the UI, it means 1 in actuality. So if you take the tires now, that's all you got. So, you know, difficult decisions to make here.
And some of these guys, I don't know if the jack stand's going to go down in time, but one of these drivers may go a lap down.
Hold on, I have a pending thought here, so I'm just... Okay, it's cleared out, because it was registering the 15 car as the leader for some inexplicable reason, but scoring has reset and, you know, given Travis. I'm going to say suck up, and just kind of omit the U, like a silent U. I mean, rather a silent O, rather. So cup? Suck up?
So cool.
You're good with phonetics.
I have no clue. We'll go with what you're saying, but you know, again, Travis, if we're wrong, feel free to correct us. Don't even have to be nice about it. You know, tell us we're stupid. That's fine. As long as we get the name correct next time, that's what we're going for. But everybody's getting doubled back up, and I'm a little bit surprised at the few drivers that did opt to take tires because they got quite a ways to go. We're 27 laps into this 120 lap event, and if we get a late race caution, those guys that have saved their extra set may be looking at a good result as a consequence. So we'll see how it all plays out. We did go quite a ways on green, got into a bit of a rhythm, and then it's that single car spin, wrong place, wrong time, brings out the first yellow of the night. But this is going to be the final pace lap. Lights are out. So it will be Travis in the 45. He's got the pole sitter to his outside, James Morris. These two are going to duke it out down into turn one. Pace car hitting that banking transition very abruptly. Hopefully the driver's spine is all right. But Travis, the control car there for the restart, is going to get out to a good jump. And look at that, the 44. On the bottom, he's actually going to get ahead of James Morris, pick up a position right through the corner, but not without challenge, because now the 42, Chris Horton, got to his low side, then conceded the position, but he's still applying the pressure, battling all the way back through the field behind Travis.
Yeah, the inside lane here on the restart's absolutely paramount. These tracks with high banking in a corner-centric restart zone, that outside guy usually always struggles, as we saw there. 44 definitely got the better end of it there, but Horton in the 42 seemed to be holding up the two of Spencer Teal and James Morris there. I think maybe a little bit of contact there may have ensued between a couple of those guys, but 86 of gold, and he's really going to send it on in there into 3. He's going to get by Morris, so not a good lap for Morris. Goes from basically second and third all the way back to 6th in a matter of a lap, and he still has a gaggle behind him in the form of Nathan Rue, again using that high side in the 3 car. Inside, that is John Gutekunst there in the 41. They're side by side, and I think that's Scott Mayhew, perhaps. He looked for 3 wide, but thought better of it.
Oh, and into the wall. Number 3 getting some bodywork damage. Nathan Rue flirting with disaster up there, but he's still committed even after getting into it. He is riding that high line, and it's easy to understand why there is so much speed to be found up there if you can run it consistently. Problem is just keeping this car underneath you. I mean, there's really not a setup you can build that's going to make this car much more stable at such high speeds. So it's all in the driver's hands. Scott Mayhew in the 29 kind of following along with this battle. He's right underneath that number 3, and it looks like he's actually going to make the bottom work, as a 3 has a bit of a scuffle with the wall once more. That's going to put Mayhew up another position. Next car ahead is going to be John Gutekunst, and I believe that it's going to be about a second gap, so we'll give it some time, see if he can get up there. But out front, Travis Suck up again. We're learning. He's about a 0.7 of a second lead, and it's going to be getting bigger because these two cannot leave each other alone. Chris Horton, Brent Meckes, these two have been fighting for the last few laps over the second position. The third place car just not wanting to give up any room here, so they're trying to kind of keep up with the leader, but at the same time, they want that second step on the podium. Nobody wants to drop back. You can see the lap time differentials for Chris Horton. It was a 15.4. And for Brent Meckes, it was a 15.6, although getting past is going to slow your lap a little bit. We'll see what it is this time. Chris Horton had it gained a bit again, so it's going to be a 15... Did it update? 15.426.
Maybe it was identical laps. I mean, it does happen at short tracks from time to time. And
it does, but for two drivers, that would be...
Is Horton driving a Lexus, I think I just saw? Yeah?
Yes. Congratulations to Lexus for getting into stock car racing, but caution again. Oh, no.
Have we already found our first commentator's curse of the league, Andre?
Well, we may have. We're just kind of talking about how well he was running the bottom, and that may be where the trouble began.
There. Oh, yeah, he washed up and into that Z-Max logo on the wall, but I think these tank mode cars should have saved him in that capacity. Tires may not be too happy, but I think the car should be all right.
And that's a shame because he was really flying. The rate at which he was catching that 42, I think he was going to be carving up through the field had that not happened. So now he's going to have a little bit of damage and have some angry tires. We'll see if he comes down pit road, get his extra set. I don't believe he used them last time around. So let's see what he does this time. Some drivers opting to stay out. Travis, Chris Horton, these drivers staying out on track. But yes, here comes the 29. The question is, does the jack stand go up? I think he's got no choice. I mean, those tires have got to be pretty angry.
Oh, there it goes. have to remember that we do not have a professional, well-trained crews here. We kind of have, you know, Bob from Kmart and Larry from Carl's Jr. who just kind of volunteer.
Jonathan Golden and Howie DiSavino also took tires of note, so you can mark those drivers down as those who no longer have a set. Although, you know, 40 laps into 120, that's definitely a lot more reasonable than lap 20 like some of these guys, so they shouldn't be at a huge disadvantage. But
so that 1 2-second pit stop time, again, that's what we have to kind of calibrate ourselves to here. We're used to 15 seconds, but again, the volunteer crews that usually make up these, you know, these local short track series, they are not, and they don't have the equipment that those top guys have, so the stops will be slower. Which at some of these bull rings, Andre, I mean, not so much Bristol, but when you head to like the quarter miles and the 4/10 mile tracks, it's almost impossible to make a 4-tire stop here, at least on the surface, anyways, without losing a lap.
Yeah, especially if you're further back in the field. That's why I was concerned on that first caution. A couple of those drivers were really close to losing a lap. I believe it was Stephen Heitz in the 51 who just got the jack stand down in time. He pulled a Days of Thunder there, beat the pace car out just barely, and kept his lap. But it was mighty close, so it is something you got to watch. And Bristol's one of the bigger tracks these guys are going to go to. You mentioned it at the top of the broadcast. So when we go to Sobo next week, that's going to be an even bigger issue. Trying to take tires without going a lap down is not going to be an easy feat, so they'll have to kind of pick and choose, maybe just take 2 when possible. But everybody getting ready to get doubled back up. Everybody has made their stop if they were going to make it. But I'm curious to see what Chris Horton in that 42 can do. He got around Brent Mekas on that last run. Now he's got a fresh restart to see what he can do with some clean track versus our leader, Travis. But Travis has been the car all night long, ever since he got around our pole sitter, James Morris. He's been laying down some pretty good laps consistently, and it seems like he may have one of, if not the best car of the night. So it's going to be a challenge, but we'll see what Chris Horton can do. The 44 behind him as well, not to discount his speed at all. He's been up in and around the podium for all 40 laps. But as you just circled there with our telestrator, that's the word that we kept forgetting the other day.
Yes.
John Garrett is the
first on
furthest towards the
tires
front with fresh tires. So 19 laps versus 44. It doesn't sound like much, but that is quite a big difference. So keep an eye on John Garrett in that 66. He may be picking him up and laying him down. Barney has a green flag in his hand, and away we go. We start number 2 at 44 out of 120. And just like before, no surprise here, Travis going to jump out to an early lead as the control car. Meanwhile, behind him, it's still too wide with some cars getting sideways through the corner further back. You saw, I believe that was either Mayhew or Stephen Heitz. I couldn't quite tell. Got big sideways, but everything, no harm, no foul. And I said I wondered what the 42 could do versus our leader. He seems to be keeping pace, only 0.2 of a second the difference between them. He's not letting him drive away. Meanwhile, James Morris has gotten around Brent Mekas on that restart, getting back to the podium after starting up front. But it's looking to be pretty competitive up front. That 42 actually may have been just a tick faster that lap. See if we can't get the lap time differentials pulled up here, because he definitely looks like he closed, and he may close again here in 1 and 2. That 42 machine, Chris Horton, he is moving.
0.02 of a second. He wrote on his driver accomplishment last place, so clearly undermining his actual skills that he's showing here. Last time by just about another half temp. And we talked about John Garrett there, the first on tires. Well, he's run. Oh, let's scratch that logic, because we are back under yellow, which, holy Toledo, Lewis Mitchell is not having the best view of Bristol Motor Speedway at present. Oh, very seldom do you see a car go upside down here, but off the bumper of Royer. Oh, yeah, that'll do it.
Huge impact. That's going to be a day done for 2 of these drivers.
Yeah, let's go on board here with the front bumper cam of Mark Royer. Yeah, I mean, Royer got away just easy, but Mitchell... Do you have your motion sickness bag, Andre?
Well, luckily I've never got motion sick, so I should be all right. But this is quite a wild ride. We're going to go on the gyro cam and see exactly. So it started out right here, sideways, backs it into the wall, and then I think that goes back to what I was saying earlier, Corey, about the visibility. honestly, the driver that made contact with him there probably didn't
Alton
even know
fourth,
there
that
was
was.
anything. Yeah, I don't think Alton even knew anything was wrong in front of him because, again, this windshield is so short. You're kind of just looking at the blacktop in front of you, or I guess in this case, the concrete in front of you, and nothing more. So it's tough.
Yeah, I was trying to get on board there with Alton, but I don't want to take up too much more time here sifting through. But on that sequence, we now are down to 5 drivers who have yet to. Actually, I'll make that 6. Actually, Gutekunst in the pits right now. So now we have 5 drivers who are still on their OG situation right here. No tires, no fuel. Suckup, Horton, Morris, Mekas, and Rue. Top 5. We are, again, just because we do have to slightly watch the clock here under green flag conditions, we have about 18 minutes left of racing, so we're going to be cutting this one close at current pace here, so hopefully we can squeeze this whole race in. Of course, if you are a fan of the channel, make sure you like and subscribe. We do have a fair audience here, and we are on our mission to hit 1,000 subscribers here on the channel. We are, I think, pushing 950, so if you can help out with that, we will soon hit our goal of 1,000, of which we have some driver goodies and some giveaways here for that monumental YouTube occasion. So just make sure you help us out with that little task. Just one little click of your button, mouse, and or touchscreen here. But let's see if Barty the Flagman gives us one to go. I think he should. We have 15 cars on the lead lap. 1 car, 1 lap down, 1 4 laps down, 1 5 laps down, and then Thomas Romig, he the sit-go ride, he kind of parked it early here at Bristol.
Yeah, again, he was the first caution for Kaz, got a little bit loose, and Thomas took the immediate tow, which, again, Corey and I didn't quite understand. But hey, if you're not enjoying the handling of the car, sometimes you kind of just feel like, yep, that's enough fun for one night. This car is not vibing with me. So could have been the case. Maybe he had some sort of prior obligation and just decided, you know what, it's more worth it to just go attend to that than try to salvage whatever finish I can get here. But either way, it is going to be Travis in the 45. Again, there's not been a restart that he has not been the control car, although Chris Horton was trying to take that position away from him on that run. He was closing in when the caution came out, so we'll see what happens. Green flag in the hand. Travis and Chris, row 1. James Morris, Brent Mekas are going to be row 2. A little bit of separation beyond row 2, although the number 3, Nathan Rue, he's able to keep up with these guys and actually going to get a good jump on that 44, maybe a threat for position. Up to second place, the 18 is going to make a power move, but it's going to be a crossover. The 42, not going to let him take it that easy. Back to the bottom, side by side for second place. Meanwhile, Travis is liking what he sees in his mirror. He wants these guys to continue to battle. 42, really hooking that bottom. He's doing a good job of it. You can see the car getting loose, but he is not afraid. There's no fear here. He is keeping his foot in it, and he is not lifting. Not quite going to get cleared there. Give him another set of corners. Can he get it here? He is clear, but will he slide up? Yes, he will. So the 42 back to the second step on the podium, just barely going to take it away from James Morris. He put up a good fight, made him work for it. Now these guys have a ways to go before they can get to Travis. You see the lap times there. It was 15.2 for both Travis and Chris. James Morris was a 3. Brent Mekas was a 15.4. That time by, look at both these cars up front. 15.11 to a 15.19 to a 15.13. These guys are still putting down some great laps. I mean, that's only about half a second off of what we were doing on fresh tires. So even this far into the race, these drivers have not taken tires yet. They are still clocking some great laps.
Yeah, track temp hasn't really gone down. We are about a half hour into the elapsed time here, pushing 8 o'clock sim time here. But here comes Horton. He is running that middle lane here. Now I think Suckup may have abused his tires a little bit too much. Now where are we going to go? Looks like the 42 kind of getting to do a high-low move, but where does Suckup decide to run? Is he going to play defensive? Nope. Now he's going to wrap the white line, or I guess the non-existent line here, but I would play defense in the middle if I was him. I wouldn't want to give up the high line here on older tires, but that seems to be what's at play. The 42 getting really good runs on exit. See somebody there about to go a lap down, just off in the long shot there. I think that is perhaps Gutekunst. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, that lap traffic, it's just one car at the moment, but it could come into
it's not
play.
Gutekunst there, but it is somebody else. It's Lewis Mitchell. It was the one who was upside down, so rightfully so that car is not up to full pace, but 42 with a look. Falls back into line here. Lap 65 just past the halfway mark in a barn burn of a battle for our race lead.
Yeah, he thought about it. He got down low. The door was closed, but he didn't really lose much momentum. He is still within striking distance going down into the corner here. Takes a slightly wider entry. Down to the bottom he goes, and so much momentum. He's going to get to the quarter panel. Can he carry this speed all the way through 3 and 4? He's going to have to do it if he wants to take the lead from Travis. And a little bit of a wiggle there scrubs the momentum. It's going to heat up those tires a little bit and make life difficult, but he's still not giving up on the low line. He gets to about the door, and then that momentum stalls out. But the 45, I think he's playing it smart here. You know, he's running the top. He's like, if you're going to pass me, you're going to have to do it on the bottom, which right now I don't think is the preferred line. And he's just, you know, not really doing any mirror driving, not too frazzled about this. He's just running his marks up high and letting the 42 do what he's going to do, which is exactly what you got to do. You don't want to get panicked. You don't want to play it too defensive. Otherwise, you might just end up playing yourself. So still side by side, coming to the line for lap 69 out of 120. 42 doing everything he can to take it away, but that low line just scrubbing away a little bit too much speed every time, Corey.
Yeah, a little bit too much speed every time, and a little bit more right front you're going to burn up. So in some instances, that might not actually be that bad, because if you have burnt up the right rear, burning up the right front will at least make the car equally handle terrible, as opposed to being unbalanced in one direction here. But we'll keep a close eye on that. Other battles on track, Jonathan Golden in the 86 and the 92 of JJ Goodbout there. There is John Gutekunst there that we talked about earlier. It was not him going a lap down. He's here just on the outside of the top 10. This is the closest battle on track. And again, that side-by-side situation. Now we're kind of classic Bristol, Andre. Top can't clear, bottom can't clear, side-by-side, which is fun. But also, as a driver, it's also frustrating as well.
It is very frustrating. I also want to point out that there's been an issue for Brent Mekas. He was up inside the top 5 not too long ago. He's now a lap down on pit road, taking tires. I believe it was a single car spin that got him off the pace, and he just opted to come down pit road as a result. So a tough break for a car that was running really well the majority of the race. He's going to come back on the track right in front of Golden in the 86. 3 wide momentarily. That's a scary situation. Just a little bit off pace, but they're able to navigate it all right. You can see the 64 machine, Alton 4th, right behind him. I'm surprised he still has the speed that he has after that contact that he made with the car that was upside down, Lewis Mitchell. It was a hard hit to the front end, and that car still seems to be okay. So good to see him still out on track. Here's another car involved in the caution. Mr. Mayhew, the 29, he's doing pretty well up in 7th. And here's a battle on your screen, the number 3 and the 99. These two, a similar story to what we saw up front, that 99 machine doing everything he can. Oh, I'm sorry, the 66. The number is upside down again. Why is there so many cars with upside down numbers?
Oh, yeah, 66, 99, 99, 66.
Yeah.
Oh, battle for the lead. Yes, we are.
He got back to him. He got back to the door. He started to fall back a bit. I thought maybe he'd burn up his tires, but that's not the case, evidently.
And here comes some traffic just in front. That's Jordan Otten in the 00 here. He's going to get high and out of the way into the fence there. Is that going to cause any issues for either of them? Not quite. 15 car Stephen Barnett. He is the next on the chopping block.
Got loose.
Yep, opens the door, but oh no, he's going to be blocked. Oh, 15 is going to go high and out of the way, but still opens the door for Horton. Horton has a who? He has the outside line, and I think that's where he's going to want to be, and this should eventually work in his favor. Here comes Mark Royer. Is that going to block the 42 in?
It might.
Oh!
Contact, big contact to Royer, and that's going to slow the 42 down. I'm surprised nobody spun there. The 00, he's a lap down, actually 6 laps down. You see him right behind, but that was a crazy sequence of events. We saw the 45 get loose as a result of the lap traffic. That opened up the preferred lane, and I thought Chris was going to take it, but then Royer just completely stalling that momentum out. Now Royer's going to come down pit road. I don't know if he got damage from that incident or what transpired there, but now the 42 is closing in again, so that time that he lost, he is regaining. Oh, what? The 45 loose off the corner. He's on the apron. New leader, Chris Horton. Something might be wrong with the 45.
Are we at a pit window, Andre?
we could be, again, I'm not 100% certain on the fuel capacity. It could be that they weren't able to make it if these guys hadn't pit on either of these restarts. Maybe it's just a bit too far. Obviously, late models aren't quite going to have the fuel capacity that a Cup car or an Xfinity car would have, because generally they just don't cover the mileage that those cars cover. So, again, we're learning. We're trying to figure things out. But you can see for Chris Horton, Nathan Rue, these drivers have not pitted the entire race. 84 laps. Along with James Morris, the pole sitter, back in 7th. So for a lot of these guys, it's been a while, but you can see down at the bottom of the scoring pylon, Travis just pitted, and right now, Brent Mekas pitted 12 laps ago when I pointed out that issue he had. Mark Royer pitted a lap ago, and Lewis Mitchell, it was 10 prior. So we're seeing some drivers come down pit road. It could be, Corey, that they just couldn't quite make it on fuel.
Yeah, and there's also a secondary aspect to that, of which here at Bristol, you go 2 laps down, so there's always the fear of pitting early. You may get the tire undercut, but at the same time, if caution comes out, you're 2 laps down. You're not in a free pass territory. You're just out to lunch, and you're not going to get both of them back. So a risk, but the reward could also be very well worth it here, as this is a gaggle for the 2nd spot at the moment. Nathan Rue, he has John Garrett there. Spencer Teal, Mayhew. Remember, Mayhew was against the inside wall, about 20-30 laps ago, rather. Brent Mekas, he's back there in the 15th spot, but he is on fresh tires. So he's going to want to get by, because that will work out in his favor on the back end of this run if he can run some faster laps, but he is kind of stuck behind this wad of lead lap traffic here.
Yeah, he's going to get trapped just a little bit. Not really anywhere you can go. We've seen this track. He's kind of proved to be a little bit one lane, so passing not super easy. You see Teal in the number 2 get a little bit squirrely up into the outside wall. That's going to lose a little bit more momentum as well. Now they're going to go side by side.
Look at all the marbles, Andre. You got a lot for Bristol. I mean, yeah, especially on 3 and 4. I mean, I've never really taken note of them here on iRacing, but that is quite a bit.
Yeah, it is quite significant, and it's probably a big factor in why these guys are getting so loose around the top.
Oh, no!
And, oh, boy, this throws a wrench in things. Caution here on lap 92, and there were cars that were still a lap down from having pit.
I am trying to sort out the cause of this. Nothing immediately strikes me. Again, I'm usually pretty good at being able to kind of analyze my telemetry and then figuring out what happened. But
I'll tell you what, let me go ask one of the admins if that was for cause or what exactly is going on. I'll be right back.
So otherwise, to quote Darius Rucker, I got nothing. So hopefully Andre will have something here, because I do have a couple different means of sorting things out. As the manual eye is usually the best one, but if the manual eye doesn't work, then I do have some back-end stuff to facilitate, but I don't have any things here to facilitate that. But this is going to work out for those who did not pit. Here comes the 42 of Horton into the pits. It looks like the next car to come down is at the 81. Rather, the 18 of Morris. You can kind of read that backwards here. He's coming in, so this is going to be absolutely catastrophic for Suck up there, because now he's 1 lap down, not in the free pass spot. So he is going to need essentially a wave around to get back into this lead spot. So again, the fear of pitting early here at Bristol, and Andre is back with a potential answer.
So it was for cause. It was a green car, so I'm hearing. They tried to get down into pit road and got a little bit sideways. I'm not sure which green car it was. They were having some issues queuing it up, but I can confirm that somebody got a little bit squirrely getting down on pit road, and that will happen, Corey. I mean, look at that transition from the concrete down to the asphalt.
Yeah. Goes
apron.
It's like 28 degrees of banking down to, like, let's say 12 or 14 down to 0 once you get into the pits. And there are a couple cars with some green, but we're just going to chalk that up to, stuff happened and we just didn't find out. It does happen from time to time. So this race, as you can see, is entering its waning stages, so we should get it completed with minimal issue, even with a caution or two. 25 laps at Bristol is, all of about 5 minutes of actual race time. And we have had a fair amount of green flag racing in tonight's event. Of course, started off a little rough around the edges, both in terms of cautions and in terms of some session issues, but we got all those sorted. 4 cautions for 18 laps, 5 lead changes amongst 4 leaders here. Again, in the inaugural Season 1, Race 1 of the Goose Graphics late model stock tour. And all of the league sponsors on the top right of your display. So again, give a shout out to them. I think some of them do have Facebook pages, such as Dubby, Turn 1 Designs, Goose Graphics. So just make sure you check all those out and help out the partners of the series here. But now we have John Garrett and Spencer Teal. They are going to be our front 2, both of which have not pit 71 laps and 54 laps respectively for both of these drivers. But the pace car is in. We're going to get back underway with 23 laps to go, and let's finish this one out here at Bristol Motor Speedway.
That is exactly what we're going to do. We're also getting word from the race control. It was Jordan Auten in the 00 who got a little bit loose into the pits and caused that caution.
I guess there is green. I would call that gray and black, but there is green as the accent color, so there's that for you.
Close enough. But John Garrett on a little bit fresher tires, I think, than the cars behind. Actually, no, he may have older tires, 73 to 56, so he's actually holding out on older tires versus one of the fastest cars in the race.
Oh, big wiggle!
That was a huge moment with cars behind, cars up high. That could have become a problem, but luckily John did a great job. Chris Horton did a great job keeping that car pointed in the right direction. Nathan Rue in the number 3, he's been towards the front of the field all night. This is about as close as he has gotten. 4th place right now, looking at a gaggle of cars ahead and a lot of points to pick up. As Teal in the number 2 going to get a little bit squirrely, scrub away a little bit of momentum there. And that's going to open up the door for yet another 2-wide battle. Look at this. Nathan Rue thought he was going to get the 2-for-1 special through the corner. He's going to have to settle for just 1 position on Teal, but he is picking up a lot of time on that low line versus the 66 John Garrett. Chris Horton back to the lead now on relatively fresh tires. That is going to be bad news for the rest of the field. But I also want to point out that caution was disastrous for Travis Suckup in the 45.
Oh no! It was even more disastrous.
Well,
I think that one trumps the first one.
But even worse, a bad night turns worse. So he led,
and he didn't get the benefit of the what's the word I'm looking for with the damage model?
Labor round. The damage model.
The one that doesn't give you damage, but yeah, he got some decent front end damage from that. The front end of that car is rather not goodified, along with
not goodified.
That is from the George Bush encyclopedia of terminology there. But let's go back on replay and sort out what happened to him there. That is Gutekunst there to his outside, and right rear contact. Gutekunst a little bit low there on the back straightaway, lower than I would think was expected, but
and the 51 making a whale of an evasive maneuver. I want to point out as well, he kind of slipped through there through that incident, and don't know how he quite evaded that, especially with the visibility issues, but great job out of Stephen Heights. He's here for a good time, and I guess, anytime you can avoid a pileup, that is a good time. So far, so good for Mr. Heights in the 51. See if we have any takers down pit road. I kind of doubt it. Most drivers have used their sets of tires at this point.
Just the 45 of Suckup in for obvious reasons here, so this will put us in at about 12-13 to go. Now, it did look for a brief moment that the 3 was able to hang with Horton there. I don't know if that's going to sustain, because once those guys got rolling, let's say third lap 40, 50, 60, they pulled about a 3-second gap, the 45 and the 42 on the field. So, but a short run, it comes down to, at the end of the day, Andre, how bad do you want to win? And what kind of reputation do you want to have? Because this is race 1. Do you want to be the guy who, takes what isn't his and then have the rest of the season in front of you? Those are decisions to make.
Yeah, especially in race 1. You don't want to make enemies too early in the season, that's for certain, especially in a short track series. Sometimes if you're running sort of a NASCAR Cup Series league or something like that, you're going to go to tracks where I don't think people are as likely to retaliate. They're probably not going to retaliate at a Texas or a Talladega or a Daytona. But you go to a short track where it's really easy to put the bumper to somebody and move them without actually wrecking them, and they're more likely to retaliate, and that's pretty much all we're doing here with these late model stocks. So yeah, if you move somebody, you can expect some retaliation sooner rather than later, and something you got to keep in mind for certain. But green flag coming back out. Chris Horton with a solo lead, and a bit of a block there from Nathan Rue is going to keep Stephen Heights at bay. So P2 belonging firmly to Nathan, but a battle for third. Scott Mayhew going to have to take that low line. A little bit of contact there. He was all the way down to the apron. He got pinched just a little bit, but both those drivers doing a good job keeping the car going in the right direction. Didn't get, oh, boy,
50.
Might have spoke too soon.
Yeah, 51 is all over the place now. Almost looks like he has a right rear tire going down. I don't know if that's actually the case. I don't know if that's impossible, but it must be. Something is wrong with that 51 car.
Yeah, I don't know if he's got those tires heated up or if that's just a really old set of tires. But, I mean, look at the steering wheel. He is cranking on that thing, and it is fighting him at every step. So not a fun time for that 51 right now, I can tell you that. 44 is going to slip by, although I believe that is not fourth position. His 44 should be, I believe, a lap down. Yes, he is. He's the second car a lap down, right behind Jonathan Golden, back in 13th. So no harm in letting him by. If the car's handling that.
Contact. Good bout in teal there. That is a battle for the fourth position here through 1 and 2. And they will fall back in the line. Good bout will have to come back and try once more. Let's go check as we are less than 10 laps to go in tonight's affair here. Let's see what the differential in times are between our race leaders here. Let's bring up our battle graphic. 34 to a 36, which is close, but when it's in the leader's favor, it certainly is not going to make you any closer. Let's see what it is next time by. I think I already know the result, and it is confirmed. Horton is making his presence known, as we kind of expected here. But still have the opportunity for a caution. I think a couple green-white checkers are kind of queued up if necessary here, but some crazy battling here. Gutekunst there in the 15 of Barnett. That is battle for the 7th spot, and then you have Morris, and then you have the lapper of Suckup, who of course is not a lapper in speed, but just in circumstance. He is battling his way through the pack here.
Yeah, he's got a lot of traffic to deal with, and unfortunately time not on his side. He can't really recover too many points with only 5 to go, and these 5 laps are going to go by in the blink of an eye. The 51's still struggling with the handling of that car. I don't know what is wrong with that machine, but clearly there is some sort of mechanical issue because he is struggling. Oh, and behind him, actually, a little bit loose, one of the cars.
Double zero of Otten. He was one the caution he didn't get to catch here, but we are now within 3 laps to go. There is a potential battle here in the top 5, but we do have this battle going on, and then of course we have to make sure we don't lose track of our timing here. I think the 66 of Garrett will try to clear at turn 3. I think he will clear Barnett in the 15 car. As now, let's go up back to our leader here as we're on 3 to go, just about to take 2 to go here at the Bristol Motor Speedway.
It is going to be 2 to go. If he can just get to the white flag, the race will be official. So hopefully we can make it that far, and that's what Chris is hoping for as well. Nathan Rue gave it a good shot. He was keeping pace for a while, but now starting to slip back a little bit. 0.7 of a second, the difference. Final lap of the race, white flag in the air, and it's just going to take one more good one out of Chris Horton, and he will take the win here for the inaugural race in the Goose Graphics Late Model Stock Series. Through 3 and 4, it was a hard-fought race, and he's going to have a trophy to take home at the end of it all, as everybody else battling for position still at the very end. That was door-to-door between Neal and Mayhew.
Yeah, he got it by, what was it, 3/100ths of a second, 2/100ths even, so great battle here. So we did get this by. Let's look at the stopwatch here. So we do have to kind of, if we want to talk to some of these guys, we will have to kind of expedite this process here. But congratulations do go to Chris Horton here in that number 42 car. So while he sits on the front stretch, didn't see any post-race celebratory activities from him. But let's go ahead and give you the final rundown of results here tonight from the Bristol Motor Speedway for the Goose Graphics Late Model Stock Tour. getting that race win there. As we saw, was Chris Horton by 0.8 of a second. Scott Mayhew, good recovery from him after that time in the backstretch wall. Spencer Teal with 4th with that good battle. JJ Goodbout in 5th. Howie DiSavino, I didn't talk to him too much, but he had a good run there in 6th. John Kudagunst in 7th. James Morris in 8th. John Garrett and Stephen Barnett rounding out your top 10.
And looking outside the top 10, Stephen Heights in the 51. He was struggling with the handling, but he still got a decent 11th place finish to show for it. Brent Meckes gets caught out with a lot of others in that late race caution. A lap down, he's going to finish P12. Jonathan Golden going to be 13th. 14th goes to the 45 of Travis Suckup. Unfortunate result, given how many laps he led, but just a faulty strategy takes him a little bit further back. Alton 4th in the 64 machine. It brings it home at P15. 6 laps down is going to be Mark Royer in the 36. He's right ahead of Jordan Otten in 17th. 18th goes to Lewis Mitchell, P19 at Thomas Romig, who called it an early night. And that is going to round out the field. Dylan Winters working race control, not actually in the event. So that will do it. We're going to try to quickly get some interviews, I believe.
If we have them, I do see Rue here. Put him in queue. Mayhew. Do we have Mayhew? I do not see him here. If you have a better set of eyes than myself, Andre, but
I do not.
So at least we have 3rd place here, or rather 2nd place, Nathan Rue, so we can at least have a brief word with him.
Nope, Chris Horton is in Discord now. The race winner has put in.
All right, so in that case, we will, Andre, if you want to grab our race winner here, we can have a chat with him.
Absolutely, give me one moment. Mr. Horton, you got a copy?
Yep.
Well, Chris, that was a really good race for you. I mean, you were battling so hard for the lead for, I would say, almost half the race. I mean, giving it everything you had, somehow saved enough tire to remain competitive, and you played the strategies to try it, and, well, you're going to win the inaugural race here in the Goose Graphics Late Model Stock Race. How are you feeling?
Feeling great. I mean, we were just saving pretty much the whole race. I mean, Sugup's a really good driver. We knew he was going to be really good competition, but gotta thank everyone who helped me. I mean, gotta thank Fusion Shop. I mean, they built the set.
And it definitely looked like a fast set. Just one last question I want to ask you. Obviously, Travis, who did lead so many laps, who you were battling with, he got caught a lap down on the pit sequence there when the caution came out, because he kind of tried to take the undercut strategy and it didn't work out. Was that something on your mind? Were you trying to stay out a little bit longer than everybody else just in case a caution came out?
No, I mean, I was planning to stay out the whole time, no matter what happened. Unless the caution came out, come down and get new tires.
Plan all along. Well, it was a good plan. It got you a win, and hopefully you can carry this momentum going forward. And congratulations, Chris.
Thank you.
All right, race winner out of the booth. Going to go ahead and pull in 2nd place for Corey. It's Nathan Rue.
All right, Nathan, a solid run here in the inaugural showing here. It looked like the 45 and the 42 were class of the field, but you hung right there. You stayed within a few tenths of Horton there on that final restart. Did you think maybe on the short haul you had anything for him?
Nah, we were really tight on that short run. Horton was really good there. You know, we made some changes when we changed from 260 twins to 120 lap race, and we missed that adjustment, and we were too tight. We tried to save some tire and run as long as we could, but Horton got a really good restart there. He timed it perfect, caught us sleeping a little bit, and I knew then we were just going to be too tight. But congrats to him, and we'll take this finish for points.
Yeah, I know last second, of course, everyone had to kind of pull an audible there, ourselves included, so I could see how that made it hard in an open setup series, man. But just looking at the schedule coming at play, any tracks you got circled that you think that you're going to have some good runs at coming forth?
I like them all. South Boston's always been a good track for me. Watkins Glen was nice to see that. That's going to be fun in these cars. Love that place. And just want to thank Beef Jerky Unlimited for helping out putting this on, and Goose Graphics. They've done a great job. We appreciate their help, and it was a fun race.
All right, sounds good, my friend. We'll see what you can do next week at Sobo. Have a good run.
Thank you, guys.
And now to wrap things up quickly, we have 3rd place here of Scott Mayhew.
Mr. Mayhew, you got a copy?
Yes, sir. I'm right here.
All right, Scott. It was a pretty up and down race. You were involved in a caution early on, but what a rally. Coming back up to the podium. That 29 machine looked pretty solid today.
Oh yeah, she was pretty fast. I was just holding on to her a couple times, but we put it together and got a good couple cautions and be able to get up front.
Absolutely. Now, what does that do for the confidence, knowing that you were kind of buried back in the field, having that mistake, and knowing that you were still able to walk away with such a good finish? I mean, how do you feel going forward into next week at South Boston?
Oh, I'm looking forward to South Boston a ton. I love racing there. So, and this is a good confidence booster going into next week.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to seeing what you can do, and definitely going to be a fun race one way or the other. But again, congratulations on a podium, and good luck next week.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Y'all have a good one.
You too.
Yeah, man.
All right. Kind of abbreviated broadcast interviews there, but again, trying to fit within the schedule. Corey's got the Red Sox Racing League coming up, and that'll be pretty fun to watch here on the channel. But yeah, Corey, I had a lot of fun tonight, different than usual and something new.
Yeah, it's always nice to kind of, I don't want to use the word monotony as a way to insult the leagues, but it's kind of good to have some different style of racing here. So looking forward to that. But again, stay tuned. Within 15 minutes, we'll be here for the Red Sox Racing League. Or if Oval Racing is your cup of tea, you could head over and listen to Andre work with Peter Short there over on 3 Wide TV. But that's going to be Corey and Andre signing out of the booth. Have a great night, and we'll catch you next time.